Not every card is for everyone. Now, there are
Yeah.
cards that could work for you,
Yeah.
but maybe it's not work for you today, or maybe you're not ready for it yet because you're just
Yeah.
getting started. Don't pay twice for a vacation. So
Mm.
instead, all that spending, start
Yeah.
cataloging it and understand where your money is going.
Yeah.
When you start understanding that part first, you'll
Yeah.
be able to now find the card that works best for you. Because you're like, hey, I spent X amount of dollars on eating out. I spent X amount of dollars at the grocery store. I
Yeah.
spent X amount of dollars to put gas in my car. Is there a perfect card for everyone, especially starting out?
Right.
Absolutely not. But
Mm. Hey, what's going on, guys? Calvin Russell here, CEO and founder of 850 Club Credit. Super excited to bring you all yet another guest speaker. This guy needs no introduction as he's been here before. Listen, it's been some time since he's been on the channel, but listen, we always read the comments. And when you all want us to bring someone back, that's exactly what we do. All right. Now, of course, he doesn't have a lot of time. Make sure you all watch until the end and please comment inside the comment section that you all were able to watch until the end, because he's going to be dropping all the gems today about some major things that are happening with credit cards in 2025. So without further ado, want to bring you all Lonnie. Can you hear us okay?
yes, I can. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I know it's been a while, man. How you been?
I've been good. It's busy. We since the last time we talked, we've had holiday and an
That's right.
election. So yeah, it's been busy.
For sure, man, for sure. And it's a new year, and I know you've been constantly giving out not just of course, great content, on your channel, but it's been a lot of things just happening in 2025. Like, of course, the economy, plays a role, but you're saying that it's affecting how you do things with credit cards in 2025. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So with anything in life, as you had mentioned, things are constantly changing.
Yeah,
The economy may be changing, the world around us may be changing, and in some cases, even our lives are changing. And
yeah,
in my case, as you know, I still consider myself a new father. My son's over, 2 years old now, but I'm still learning this whole
that's
father
right.
game.
Yeah,
And as he gets older, from infancy to childhood to toddlerhood to maybe even as a what we would call a big kid, all these
yeah.
things are going to continue to change. But the
Hmm.
thing is that my credit cards, the way I spend my money, the way I spend my time, and the way that
Yeah,
I like to enjoy that time with him, with my family, and myself, like, I love traveling. I don't want to give that up. So I had to start
yeah.
bringing my wife into the game. But now we're parents. So
Mm,
now we have to bring our kid into the game as well. And so it changes everything. And as
yeah.
that changes, I'm starting to see the mindset change, not just for myself and my
Mm,
wallet, but even for,
yeah,
like I say, my player too, which is my wife as well.
absolutely. And I want to touch on something too, because you all do try to travel, when you can. And now you got the 2-year old. This is when you guys start paying for a full seat.
Yep. Yep. We're officially flying for three now.
That's right.
No more kid in lap.
Right, right. Them arm babies. But that hit us. That hit us for sure. My wife's birthday was coming up at some point, and I was like, "Man, we got to pay for this other seat now." We've gotten used to it now, but it's like, oh, just try to get around it.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Like, you never realize, like, oh man, it costs 60,000 points for, this round trip flight. And they're like, oh yeah, 128 nothing. But when it turned to 180, you're like, wait a
that's
sec,
right.
y'all. Where them seats in the back?
Right, right, right. Exactly.
How
Exactly.
much those
Okay.
cost?
For real, man. For real. So now, yeah. So now, what are some things, of course, but now, like you just mentioned, it was, of course, just you like kind of putting everything together. Then you said, okay, now you're like, okay, talking to the wife, okay, saying, hey, let's maximize over here as well, too. So
Yeah.
what's been like some of the strategy changes that you've been kind of dealing with now in 2025?
Yeah. So I'll say there's three major ones. I call
Okay.
them collaboration, planning ahead, and pay to play. So
Mm,
collaboration is just having a good teammate. Like,
yeah.
no matter who you are, what game you play, and then for me, it's this credit card game right now. You
Mm,
got to have a good teammate. It could
that's right.
be Shaq and Kobe, or it could be Shaq and Jordan. Like, your
Right.
teammate could be on the other team, but you're still
Mm,
learning from that team to make
right.
it better. We just passed the Super Bowl. No matter what, two great teams, somebody got to lose, but they both
Yeah.
learned something and they both respect the game. And they both respect each other.
Real quick, did you know that you can add your monthly subscription services like Netflix or Disney Plus, or even your cell phone bill to your credit report to improve your credit score? All you got to do is just scan this QR code or click the link in the description below to learn more. Now back to the video.
In my
Man,
case,
somebody got beat down in that game, but anyway.
we ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna. In my case, Kendrick won, but we ain't gonna go there today.
Oh, we got one of those. See, I'm a Drake fan. We gonna end this early. Okay. But yeah, no, that makes sense for sure. That
Yeah.
most definitely makes sense.
And so last year was the first time that I've taken my wife to a Conrad Resort and a Waldorf Astoria Resort. She had never stayed at either of those two properties before. And if you're familiar with those are both under the Hilton brand. But those
Mm-hmm.
are the like top tier luxury. Like we're talking like
Mm-hmm.
the bad ones are like 4.7 stars. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
they're really good resorts. And so even my son at 2 years old, he can walk into a room like, oh yeah, I like this. I can tell that this we ain't in Kansas no more. This ain't the
Right.
Holiday Inn, Dad. Like he
That's right.
understands the difference.
Yeah.
And so that got them into the travel bug to be like, how do we do this more often? The same way I
Yeah.
got into the game of, I remember our first interaction where I told you about how I flew from New York to California back to New York for
Yeah.
$10. It was almost that same type of cathartic or epiphany type moment of like, wait a sec, we can do this all the
Mm-hmm.
time for less, like on these points and miles.
Yeah.
And so that was the wake up moment for my wife was like, how do I help you do this? And
Yeah.
so I officially brought her in as a teammate. Not saying that she wasn't a teammate before, but now she's
Yeah.
like, wait a sec, what card do I use to spend on
Right.
this?
Yeah.
What card do I need to get next? What's best
Yeah.
for us? Not best for you or what's best for me, or like what's best
Yeah.
for us. And
Yeah.
so that's where the collaboration has started coming in. And what we can now do with that, we
Yeah.
can
Huge.
work together and
Yeah.
plan and travel, or we can divide and conquer. And what I say by
Yeah.
working together is if I like, for example, my American Express cards.
Yeah.
American Express, you can't merge accounts like you can with like a Chase account or anything like that with another partner or someone in your household. So
Right.
she's an authorized user on my two American Express cards, which are the gold and the platinum,
Yeah.
which mean we can now work together. So if she needs to go to the grocery store by herself and I'm not going
Mm-hmm.
with her, well,
Mm-hmm.
then she knows to use a specific card for the grocery store.
Yeah.
And so we
Yeah.
can make sure all those Amex points end up in the same spot.
That's
Or we
right.
can divide and conquer because I travel for work more than she does. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting frequent flyer miles from my work travel where I'm like, yo, I'll take care of our flights with our miles, but
Mm-hmm.
then you go use your hotel card and you take care of the hotel for that particular trip. So,
Smart.
how we plan, that's where that collaboration and that teamwork come in to make sure
Yeah.
that she can continue getting those high-end luxury resorts that she now is, let's call it, addicted to. And we already
Mm.
have two more,
That's right.
two more. We have one Conrad in Orlando, and then
Okay.
the Waldorf Astoria in DC, which
Mm.
we went to the first time, but she wants to go back because
Real quick, be sure to download our free ebook today. All you got to do is scan this QR code right here or click the link in the description below. Now back to the video.
it's DC.
Nice.
She didn't see everything, so she's like, let's go back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so yeah, so now she's like, this is where I want to stay. Like
Yeah.
I said, Holiday Inn ain't gonna cut it anymore.
Listen. Now listen for real. But you know what? It's kind of like I tell people, it's kind of like when you were at like I won't say McDonald's, everybody don't eat McDonald's, but a lot of people listen, they didn't skip being a kid, so they more than likely ate McDonald's. But that
Yeah,
transition from individual menu items to like the meal,
yeah,
or going from the Applebee's, the Chili's, and then actually going to like a steakhouse. And it's
yep,
not knocking that. It's just different level of quality. And once you do a Holiday Inn versus a Waldorf Astoria, that's come on, that's night and day.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I love the way that you use steak because that would been a metaphor I would use. Like, yeah, you go to Applebee's and order a filet
Mhm.
mignon, it is not the same one at Ruth Chris. It's not.
Listen. Most definitely not. The knife will tell you, okay?
And so, on top of that, moving on from the teamwork and the collaboration aspect is now planning. And right now,
Yeah,
this is the one thing that I try to, when people reach out to me, like, what's the one thing that can help them make the best redemptions, get the best
yeah.
experiences possible? And that's understanding how to plan. Now,
Mm,
planning isn't just like, hey, I want to go to DC or I want to go to Japan or whatever that
yeah,
is. It's like,
yeah,
when should you go? Because
yeah,
if you have the ability to do it, which we do, as I mentioned, my son's two, he's not in school yet. So
yeah,
we can take time off of work and just
mhm,
go, which means
yeah.
we can go when travel is low. And when travel is low, prices are
Mm,
low. And when
yeah,
prices are low, traffic is low. So,
that's right.
and that will lead into the next point. But before I jump onto it,
Yeah,
is by planning ahead, and I'm
yeah,
talking like you can usually book hotels and flights 10, 11,
yeah.
12 months in advance. Like
Yeah.
understanding where you want to go. So, like I said,
Yeah.
if you want to go to Japan in 2026, you should be looking that up now. When
Right.
do you want to go? And if you want to be literally efficient on that
Yeah.
trip, you can start looking up your hotels that you want to stay at and be like, look, May is really high. May is on average $700 a night, you
Spring break
know?
or something. No, is that May? It's always
Whatever.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
cherry blossom season, you know what I mean?
Anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you want to go on an off season, let's say in February when most people are in school or not traveling, and you're like,
Mm,
oh, now right now it's only $300 a night. And like I
right.
said, we have flexibility because our son's not in school. We're not tied to anything.
That's right.
I can start planning in advance, start looking that up now and say,
Yeah.
all right, if this is going to be $300 a night, or let's call it, 10,000 points a night or whatnot.
Mhm.
Okay, we're going to stay there 5 nights. We're going to need 50,000 points. Maybe you need 100,000 points. We have a
Yeah.
whole year to start accumulating those, start working on those. Which
Mm,
card am I going to use? Going back to teamwork. You
yeah.
use that card. I use this card. We use these cards together to make sure we get those points so we can make that redemption. So when it opens up in that 10, 11, 12 month mark, we're ready to
Yeah.
book. Done.
Mm,
It's out of the way. And
right.
so what's funny is right now we're still in February.
Yeah.
Basically, all my travel, except for holiday travel in 2025, is already planned and booked. And that was from
Mm,
2024. I'm looking at
wow.
2026 travel
Yeah.
now
Mm,
because we're planning that far out in advance. And then the last
wow.
thing would be what I like to call pay to play. And this, once again, kind of leads into the last thing.
Yeah.
And I call pay to play, you're just buying status or you're
Yeah.
buying a perk or a benefit. So there are a lot of credit cards out there, especially the premium ones, that give you certain benefits just by holding the card. So
Mm,
it could be like an MX Platinum that gives you Hilton Gold, Marriott Gold status. Also, President's status, the top tier status for rental cars of Hertz and Avis.
mm,
You can also get $200 discounts on what they call a fine hotels and resorts, which is a luxury hotel collection. Once again, we're talking like 4.7 and above.
yeah.
We're not staying at Holiday Inns here. You want to stay at Waldorf or St. Regis or
Mm,
Conrad. This is what I'm talking about. JW Marriott's the big ones.
yeah.
So
Right.
not only are you getting that, but then that card will also give you a discount on those, sometimes even cheaper than booking directly with the hotel, just because you're holding the card. So
Yeah.
those types of things. Now, I recently just got the Hilton Aspire card, which is Hilton's top tier card. Just by
Mm,
holding the card, you get a couple of things right out of the gate as well. First is you get instant Hilton Diamond status. I don't need to stay 60 nights at a Hilton property this
yeah.
year to get Diamond. I paid my annual fee,
Yeah.
and tomorrow I have Diamond status.
Wow.
Now, once again, as I mentioned, that Waldorf and Conrad are under the Hilton brand.
That's
So
right.
now when I show up, they don't know I didn't stay 60 nights in 2024. They just
No,
know I got diamond status.
that's it.
That's all they need to know. Like, but the reason behind all of that is because that status comes with more perks as well. So
Yeah.
by having status, and it doesn't have to be Hilton, let's stay on the Hilton bandwagon right now. By
Yeah.
staying at those resorts, I'm going to get $25 in food credits every single day.
Mm,
Also, I'll get $200 twice a year, first half of the year, back half of the year for staying at certain resorts. In this case,
yeah.
the Conrad in Orlando counts as one of those. So just by staying there, whatever I end up buying, spending, and whatever is on my folio at the end of the night,
Yeah.
$200 is coming off of my statement just because I use that particular card. And
Got you.
so going back to the first one, collaboration, I can use my platinum card, book, get the discount, use my Hilton card, use the status and the perks. And so
Mm,
now I'm getting like $100 food credit, spa credit, early check-in, late checkout. When's the last time you got 24 hours in a hotel room? You usually check in at like 3 o'clock and they tell you to be out at
right.
11.
Right. Didn't even think
But
about that. Yeah.
but because of my status now, I get to check in at noon and check out at 4 p.m. the next day. So I get more, I'm getting 28 hours.
Wow. So you're the
And
reason why they're always kicking people out on time then.
yes, yes, I am.
He's the
and,
guy.
and you
He's the
can
guy.
too. You can too.
That's right. That's
But
right.
then the
Yeah.
third part of the equation is going back to planning. So you can see the synergy in all of this
Yeah.
is by planning ahead mixed with the other two strategy changes that I had just mentioned. So let's say I'm now traveling to that
Yeah.
particular hotel, that particular
Okay.
area in a low travel period, which means the hotel's not full yet.
Right.
Now, they guarantee you an upgrade when you get there if available. You got to read that part. You got,
Yeah.
the if available
That's a
part,
big
right?
if. Yeah.
It is. But when I know the hotel's not full, there's a
Yeah.
good chance that, those top 5 floors aren't full. So that
Yeah.
upgrade is going to be worth a whole lot more, which allows me
Mm,
to book the low cost room, end up in the high cost room by mixing
yeah.
all 3 of these things together.
Mm. Man, that's extremely smart, man. And now, would you how far in advance do you normally average before you kind of book something? Typically.
If I really want to go, like the
Yeah.
things that I actually plan, it's literally like almost a year in advance. Now, I'm not
Wow.
gonna say I don't have any type of like short-term trips or, something might
Yeah.
pop up. So I mentioned Japan because that literally just happened to me in the last couple of weeks where I'm be going
Wow.
in now April, which is
Yeah.
about 2 month difference. So those
Yeah.
types of things do happen. But for
Yeah.
the most part, like I'm planning my birthday is in March.
Mm,
So I'm looking at my birthday for 2026 right now.
got it.
Like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do for my birthday 13 months from now? And
Yeah.
so I try to plan as far in advance because that way I have the best ammunition to
Yeah.
prepare for that particular trip. Which hotel do I want to stay at? What day is the best to show up? Maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't arrive on Sunday. Maybe I should arrive on Monday. Maybe I shouldn't check out on Saturday. Maybe I should check out on Friday. I can
Right.
start planning around that stuff as well.
Yeah, very smart. Very smart. Now, let me ask you a question. Now, of course, you have a lot of different credit cards, with various, perks and things of that sort. What number is that now? Is it 12, 15? Where is it at now? I know it's up
I
there.
believe it's 15.
Yeah, I figured it was right around right around there somewhere. The question is for people that are watching this is that if they have, how do they find out what those current perks are, for their credit card? What's the best way to kind of keep up with all of that?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways to do it. One is before you even hit the apply button, do your research. I mean, it's all online. It's on
Yeah,
YouTube. Come check my channel out. I talk about cards. There's a
that's
lot of
right.
other co-creators that Calvin and I are both friends with that talk about cards as well, where
Yeah.
we will break down that type of information. Now, the thing is, it's dynamic. It changes over time. But the
Yes,
other
right.
aspect of it is whenever you apply for a card, the
Yeah.
bank or the issuer will send you all that information. Now, in
Mm,
most cases, we take that and we throw it in the trash bin.
right.
But read it. And if
That's
you've
right.
already thrown it in the trash bin, just go to your account or call their customer service or their chat, whatever it
Yeah.
is, and ask for either another printout or can you explain these types of benefits to me?
Mm,
I mean, I won't don't say they're legally obligated to do it because you already
yeah.
applied for the card for a card that you
Right.
have, but they are
Mhm.
happy to do it. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never like had a situation where they're like, no, we're not going to talk to you about the stuff that you're
Mhm.
purchasing from us.
Yeah. Plus,
Yeah,
the other conversations that they're having is either someone looking to close out the account, someone that can't make the payment. So when someone is calling and saying, "Hey, listen, I want to maximize this credit card," or
yeah.
making sure that I'm, using it. That's that language of, "Hey, I'm going to be having this for another year or longer."
Exactly. They only get paid when you use a card. So they want you to
Mm.
use their card. They're happy to help you make sure you keep using their card, especially versus a competitor.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge. Now, what advice would you give, Lonnie, for someone that kind of wants to get into the travel part of the credit card game? Where should they start if they don't have they just got like some basic entry level credit cards? They got a Capital One, they got a Discover, they got a cashback situation. What would be like the first, knowing what you know now? What would be like the first travel card that they should consider?
Yeah, before I even say to like what travel card you should
Yeah.
consider, because that's going to be different per person. Like, not every
Mm,
card is for everyone. Now, there are
yeah.
cards that could work for you,
Yeah.
but maybe it's not work for you today, or maybe you're not ready for it yet because you're just
Yeah.
getting started. But the first thing I would actually say is understand the goals that you have in mind when you get into the game. Like,
Yeah.
before you even start looking at cards, what
Mm,
are you trying to get out of it? In my
yeah.
case, for me, over decades now, I've wanted to travel and I don't want to pay out of pocket for it. I want to use my currencies, my travel rewards, etc. So I
Mm,
don't pay twice for a vacation. And
wow.
what I define as that is every single month or every single day, we have guaranteed spending. We got to pay
Yeah.
for our roof. We got to pay for our car or gas or electricity, our
Yeah.
utilities. I got kids, so we got to pay for food,
Yeah.
grocery store. These are things that no matter what, I'm going to spend my money on,
That's right.
period. And
Yeah.
so after all that life happens and all that work happens, I finally need a break and I want to take a vacation.
Mhm.
Now I gotta pay for a vacation on top of that? No, sir.
Right.
No, no. And that's what I mean
Yeah.
by, like, don't pay twice for a vacation. So
Mm.
instead, all that spending, start
Yeah.
cataloging it and understanding where your money is going.
Yeah.
When you start understanding that part first, you'll
Yeah.
be able to now find the card that works best for you. Because you're like, hey, I spent X amount of dollars on eating out. I spent X amount of dollars at the grocery store. I
Yeah.
spent X amount of dollars to put gas in my car.
Yeah.
These types of things. And now it's like, okay, which card would best fit that regular spend that I have every single day? So
Right.
that way I can maximize it, get those points, those travel rewards or cash back if that's what you prefer, back to me so that I can start getting into that planning phase. And once you figure out those two things, we'll start figuring out what card works best. And
Yeah.
like I said, it could be a hotel card, it could be a transferable points card like a Chase Sapphire card or Amex,
Yeah.
platinum or gold card. But is there a perfect card for everyone, especially starting out?
Right.
Absolutely not. But
Mm.
by having that research done in advance, you're setting yourself up for success to make sure that you get a card that you can use and also pays you back more than what you put into it.
That's huge. Man, that's huge. Listen, getting more out of the card than what you pay for it, I think that that's huge because a lot of people, they may not know about that. They get approved for the card, they're not just using it a certain
Mhm.
way. And I think that that's what happens, honestly, too far often than not. People just use it just because it's a credit card, but you're like,
Yeah.
no, it's perks first, then it's a credit card, you know?
Yes.
So, man, that's most definitely a different way of
Yeah.
looking at it.
One of the things, especially that I've learned since becoming a YouTube creator, but since I've been in the credit card game, talking to friends, family, people that are like, yo, how is it
Yeah.
that you do what you do with the education that I have from the experiences and tenure that I've had in
Yeah.
the game is the value aspect. And for
Yeah.
me, my favorite line in there is that value is not always defined as financial.
Mm.
And the reason why I say that is because a lot of people are instantly discouraged or instantly turned off on a card because it might have a high annual fee. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I just mentioned the Amex Platinum card that currently has a $695 annual fee. The first
Wow.
thing is someone might say, "Man, I ain't paying $700 for a credit card." And you
That's
know what?
real.
That's justified. To me,
It is.
that's a justified statement. Like, yeah, if you don't know what you can get,
That's
then yeah,
right.
I wouldn't pay
Yeah.
$700 for a credit card.
It's just a bill for the just a bill to them. Yeah.
Right, but the way I perceive it is I am prepaying for perks that are way more value than $700. I am getting
Right.
a dollar out of 15 cents, like
Mm.
literally. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I paid 6.95 up front for it, but guess what? Like I just mentioned, I'm going to end up in a hotel room that costs $1,000 a night.
Mm.
So I'm going to win there.
That's
Like
right.
I'm going to get X amount of points back when I purchase my flights with it. I'm going to win
Mm.
there.
Yeah.
I've also just mentioned the Hilton Aspire card. That's a $550 annual fee. So I've already just
Mm.
told you I have over $1,100 in annual fees just off of two credit cards. But you know
Right.
what?
Yeah.
I got a free night award from Hilton just this
Mm.
week. And
That's pretty much almost the cost. Well, close
that's
to
more
it.
than a cost. I used it for a room that
Yeah.
cost $800 a night.
Smart.
And as I mentioned, when I get to the hotel, I'm probably going to get upgraded to a room that probably costs $1,200 a night. I'm going to
Mm.
get 100 and $100 for the stay and $25 a day because I hold the card because that
Wow.
gave me diamond status.
Right.
Like I'm also saving $200 at that hotel as well. I
Yeah.
one trip, I've got way more back than $550. So this is
Right.
why I say value is not always financial.
That's
Value
right.
can be an experience. Value can be
Yeah.
something that can enhance your overall travel as a whole or the
Mhm.
overall benefit as a whole. So
Yeah.
don't be discouraged because it has a high annual fee. I'll be completely transparent. I pay $2,500 in annual fees on my credit card
Wow.
across all
A
my credit
year.
cards.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
year.
across all
Wow.
my credit cards,
Yeah.
$2,500.
Yeah.
Ask me if that bothers me at all. Absolutely not.
Wow. Because you got a strategy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not just that, it's not like you're breaking even. You are, like, strategically making sure that you extract all the value out of those. That way, it's like, "Hey, I
Yeah.
paid this, but look at what I got, in the last year, because of that." That's huge, man. That
Yeah.
really is.
And we're not
And
talking
speak
one trip either. Calvin, you know me.
Yeah.
I'm always somewhere.
You and Key, y'all somewhere everywhere, all the time.
Right. Right. I'm getting way more back than the $2,500 I put into it
That's
because,
right.
you know, of the education of
Yeah.
because I create these strategies that work within my everyday spending and then like I said, how I plan when I
Yeah.
want to use them. So I'm going to squeeze every little drop out of this limit. Don't even get me twisted.
Man, for real. Oh, that's listen, no, that's real, man. That really is. That really is. But you know what? Speaking of that, I'm glad you brought this up. With annual fees, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are still talking about whether or not they're going to keep, or is it worth still keeping the American Express Platinum
Mhm.
credit card. And you talked about this the other day. It was essentially 10 reasons. We don't have to go through all 10. We can at least do five. But
Yeah.
I know I got some watchers, some people who are watching this video right now. And of course, guys, listen, y'all see Lonnie is always dropping just gems from his strategy. If you guys want us to bring him back, let us know in the comment section below. And again, guys, make sure you guys stick around until the end. But I wanted you to go into what's 5 reasons that you are still holding on to this American Express Platinum, and or for example, or 5 reasons that people should go get it essentially, and of course what that annual fee is now.
Yeah. So the very first thing is that annual fee. So there are rumors out there right now that it's about to get refreshed and that annual fee is going to
Mm,
go up. So right now it's
wow.
695, but I
Mm,
can't tell you if it's going to be 800,
yeah,
900, $1,000 tomorrow.
yeah,
But the
yeah.
thing is, if you get it now, you're locked in at least for the next 12 months at 695,
Mm,
which is instantly a discount compared
yeah.
to, yeah, I think I want it. And then it goes up and then you get it. Man, you could have got it. That's
Right.
they were selling Range Rover 60% off yesterday. You know what I mean?
You better be on it. Yeah, that's
Right.
real. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that would be the first thing.
Okay.
And the second thing is, once again, being able to justify that annual fee.
Yeah.
So yes, it is 695, but then I even would consider the Amex Platinum card. You can just try it before you buy it. Try it for 1 year, just 1 year, and see
Mm,
what you can get.
yeah.
And right out the cuff, it gives, as I had mentioned earlier, the
Yeah.
$200 for the fine hotels and resorts. So you can stay at a
Yeah.
better resort and instantly get a $200 discount, plus a
Mm,
bunch of credits that come with it
mhm,
when you do
mhm.
make that particular stay. But you can
Yeah.
also get airline incidental credits as well. They give you $200 of those every single year. So if you don't have airline status and you need to check your bag, guess what? You can use it for that. You need
Right.
to, you decided, you know what? This is going to be a celebration trip. It's our anniversary. It's the birthday for the missus or whatnot. Let's go ahead and
Yeah.
upgrade. That's within swinging distance. There's $200 you could use on that. So
Right.
right there could be $400 that you are instantly getting back in value.
Off
And then
top.
right off the top, you don't
Yeah.
have to do nothing else right off the top.
Yeah.
I like to say
Yeah.
that the credits that it comes with are actually valuable to me. Now,
Mm,
this is going to be choose your own adventure.
okay.
So, like, it'll give you Uber credits that you can use for Uber or Uber Eats. Every time
Yeah.
I go to the airport, I particularly take Lyft, but that's because my Chase Sapphire Reserve card. We don't need to get into that today. But
Yeah.
if you take Uber often, that can save you $20 a month on Uber. That could be your
Yeah.
ride to the airport or your
Yeah.
ride home if you plan it right. Like, leave at the end of February, come home at the beginning of March. That's 2
Yeah.
credits there. Like,
Mm.
planning, see? That's the way my mind works.
Yeah.
That's the
No,
way
that's real.
my mind works.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and then I also like to say, right now, Amex is giving away some of the, especially on the platinum, giving away some of the highest offers possible. So
Mm,
if you already have an Amex account or you open up your mailbox and you see a mailer in there, you need to read between the tea leaves because you could already be an Amex customer where they see you as valuable and they might have sent you a email or a letter
yeah.
in the mail or gave you something in your account that says, hey, Calvin, why don't you come over and try the Amex Platinum? We'll give you
Mhm.
175,000 Amex points. If you
Mm,
see something like this, you have done something right. They're not
mm.
giving that out to anyone.
They aren't. No.
No, they're going to give it
Just
out to the
not just anybody.
right. They're going to give it out to the people that they know can bring value back into their company. Remember, this it's a
Mm,
business for them. It's a
yeah.
business. It's a bank. They don't owe us nothing. They are in it for themselves and their shareholders and their board of
Yeah.
trustees. So if they're like could be valuable to us, take
Yeah.
that as a compliment, and you might want to like look into that just a little bit deeper. You're like, yeah, maybe I should try this out and see what it's like. Like I said, if it doesn't work out a year later, let that sucker go. But you still get to keep the
Yeah.
points.
I like that. When you said, again, try it out for a year and see if you like it. Obviously, you don't have to renew certain things.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what happens, right? If you don't pay the annual fee, well, you just close out the car because otherwise you're going to automatically be charged the annual fee. So,
That's
yeah,
correct. And
yeah.
there's a lot of options there. You can go for a retention offer, say, hey, I'm going to cancel. What will you do to keep
Mm,
me? You can officially cancel, just cut them off. And there's
yeah,
also what's called the downgrade upgrade path. Go check out another friend of both of us, Sledge of Sledge Inc. team. This
that's
dude
right.
talks about it all the time. He is
All the time.
the master of the downgrade upgrade path with Amex.
Yeah.
I'm learning from him
Right.
on it. I learned it from him, actually.
Right. Yeah.
So you have a lot of options after that first 12 months if it doesn't work out for you. And
Yeah.
then I would say one of the other last things where I personally find value for me is that fine hotels and resorts benefit. Not just the
Mm,
$200 credit that I get, because that's only once a year, but even after I get that, I can still book fine hotels and resorts. You can still
mm,
book it. You can use your points to book it, so you don't have to take cash out of pocket. So let's say you got your 100 plus welcome offer.
yeah.
You use your $200 credit. Now you want to take another trip later that year. Well,
Mm,
you can still book fine hotels and resorts using your MR points, and now you got 100 points that you got earlier to do that. That's how they keep you locked in. That's how they get you, and they're
right.
gonna get you. I'm just gonna
That's
let you know
right.
they're gonna get you.
They gonna
But
get it some kind of way.
but every time you do that, once
Yeah.
again, you're gonna give you that upgrade. They're gonna
Yeah.
treat you like a valued member. You're going to have status with particularly certain hotels, not
Yeah.
IHG, but Hilton and Marriott. You're going to instantly have gold status. They're going to treat you like
Mm,
a gold member the
yeah.
second you walk in. They're going to give you $100 credit that they call for experience. You can use that on room service. You can use that at the buffet. You can use that at the spa. You can use that for
Mm,
whatever activities they might have going on the property or resort, depending on where you go. I'm not a rest resort type of person like the Maldives, Bora Bora. I don't want to just like lay out in the bed all day. That's not for
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So the places I like to go do have like, well, now they got arts and crafts for the kids, like those types of things.
Mm,
And if it's like, oh, we're gonna tie dye t-shirts, it's gonna cost $10. Man, put that on my room so y'all can just take that off later. I'm not paying for this t-shirt.
that's
Like,
man for real. Yeah.
I'm being serious
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
The other aspect is even because when you book third party, not directly
Yeah.
with a hotel, you usually don't get to use your status perks. But when you use
Mm,
Amex's fine hotels and resorts, they allow you to continue doing that.
yeah.
So once again, if you already had, in my case, I have diamond status with Hilton. So if I book a Hilton resort through Fine Hotels and Resorts, I
Yeah.
still get my Hilton points when I stay as if I book directly with Hilton. I
Mm,
still get my
right.
diamond status benefits when I stay as if I book directly with Hilton. So
Right.
Amex does not intercept that or impede on that. So that's
Yeah.
another
Doesn't care.
benefit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm getting these perks and benefits from Amex, but then
Right.
my Hilton status is going to continue giving me these perks and benefits as well.
Yeah.
Like if you were to buy a flight through like Expedia with like Delta or United, they're going to
Yeah.
like, yo, you bought this through Delta or United. You're group
Absolutely.
five. You're group five, bruh. I don't care if you're gold status with or not. You didn't
You
buy it from us. You're group
you barely
five.
get on the plane.
Right. But here, you don't have that. You're still treated as if you just paid up front.
Right.
And then, like I said, the discounts. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many times I have gone through Amex's Fine Hotels and Resorts or even their travel portal, and I have
Yeah.
found discounts. I've never seen anything like not at least 25% off, sometimes even up to 40% off, which
Yeah.
I can go directly to Hilton or Marriott or IHG or Intercontinental, and it costs
Yeah.
more booking directly with the hotel than it does booking through Amex. And so,
Right.
once again, I'm getting perks and credits and all this, and I'm saving money. And then when I
Yeah.
get there, I'm still getting all the perks from the status. So
Mm,
it's just a double dip. It's just dip on top of
yeah.
dip on top of dip on top of dip. And that's why I
Right.
love their travel portal so much. But the only way you can get to the fine hotels and resorts, you got to have the platinum card. You don't get it
Right.
with the gold card. You don't get it with the green card. You don't get it with the co-branded card. It comes with that access. The key to that room is with
Yeah.
the platinum card.
Wow. Huge.
Yeah.
That's huge, man. That's huge. And so, listen, for those of you all who are watching this that are considering that American Express Platinum or that you have it, again, it's strategies like this. It's not just swiping the card and say, okay, I got this amount of points. What can I do with them? It's saying, okay, I have these points. This is how I'm going to use this card, planning this out and looking at those time frames, for sure. Those off-peak seasons. That's huge, especially with tying that into the travel perks as well, man. Well, listen, Lonnie, we greatly appreciate you, sliding through the channel again and dropping
Always.
so much information, man. And listen, if you guys don't do anything, make sure you guys stop by Lonnie's channel. He's always talking about these things with credit cards and such. And keep in mind, majority of the credit cards that he is, or the videos I should say, that he talks about, these are credit cards that he actually has and use. So he's speaking from a level of experience. Is there anything, Lonnie, that you want to leave with the audience before we wrap up today?
Yeah, don't be afraid to get started. I know it can be complicated. I know it can be
Yeah.
confusing. The credit card game is a spider web of paths you can take. You can
Yeah.
get X card and go left, or you can get X card and go right. Like, just take it slow, take it one
Yeah.
little bit at a time. And most importantly, like I say, do your research. And to help you do that research, I'm happy to help. Stop by my channel, drop me a comment, whatever it is. I don't think I've never not replied to a comment yet.
Oh,
So
wow.
keep them coming.
There you
Like I
go.
said, I'm here to help. That's why I come back when Calvin asked me to come back to help share this information. I willingly say, "Yo, when?" Like, how he tells me to jump, how high? I'm happy to come
Right.
back and keep sharing this information with you guys. And the reason why is because I want all of us to win.
That's right.
Like I said, it's a game, and like Vegas, the house always wins. No,
That's right.
you can beat the house.
Mm,
It's possible. We've all seen it. I'm living proof of it, and I want to help other people do it too.
that's right, man. You could beat the house. I like that. That's what's up, man. Well, listen, Lonnie, thanks again so much for your time, man. Until next time. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.